At present, there are more than 1.8 million Syrian refugees surviving in camps in various host countries through the generosity of others. However, their struggle continues. This holy month, the Big Heart campaign, led by Her Highness Sheikha Jawaher Bint Mohammed Al-Qassimi, the wife of the Ruler of Sharjah, Chairperson of the Supreme Council for Family Affairs, and UNHCR Eminent Advocate for Refugee Children, is appealing for more and continuous support. Our correspondent Khadija Salih has this report.
The smiling faces of these Syrian children in a refugee camp hide the pain and suffering they have seen in their embattled country. Far from the crisis, this was just a snapshot of a moment of joy, which unfortunately is easily replaced with longing for family, as well as basic needs such as home, food, clothing, education, and their childhood. This is what Her Highness Sheikha Jawaher Bint Mohammed Al-Qassimi, wife of the Ruler of Sharjah and Chairperson of the Supreme Council for Family Affairs and UNHCR Eminent Advocate for Refugee Children, saw when she visited one of the classrooms in Lebanon.
She asked, what can we do right now instead of just going there and then going back home and then raising funds. So, nobody really said much in response because, we're thinking big numbers. Her Highness went personally to a shopping mall in Beirut, bought all kinds of toys to the point where the staff were saying that's enough. So it was about 100 or so toys for boys and for girls. She brought them with her and she gave them so that they feel like their childhood hasn't completely been stolen from them, because Her Highness says a child has a God-given right to remain a child for as long as possible. Whether they have problems or whether they don't have problems, they need to enjoy their childhood.
During the World Refugee Day in June, Her Highness launched the Big Heart campaign. At present, the refugees are hosted in various countries, including Lebanon, wherein the number of Syrian children of primary age currently exceeds the number of Lebanese children. But many of the schools have adjusted to accommodate everyone.
The country that is most affected by the refugee influx is Lebanon. Lebanon doesn't have refugee camps. What it has is the people have been taken into the homes, and also the UNHCR gives a certain support to the families, Syrian families, so that they can rent flats. What we've seen and firsthand is that more than one family live in one flat, and the flats, the rent has gone up considerably.
Shahad and her family are among those living in a refugee camp in Lebanon. At 4 years of age, she lost 2 siblings and suffered a life-threatening injury when her family home was attacked. She survived but is now traumatized by the mere sound of airplanes. Her story is just one of the many.
These are people who had homes, jobs, they were entrepreneurs, they had free health care, free education, and now they don't have anything and they have to rely on someone else. So that was their biggest issue, emotional issue. And then of course the children. Now the children, their school year has been disrupted. And you don't want that. This is a whole generation of children who will go back, inshallah, back to their country, and you don't want that to happen to them.
In barely 2 months of the campaign, they have received an overwhelming response, especially from the local community, to raise awareness and funds. To help the millions of Syrian refugees, the UN said an annual budget of $5 billion is required. Right now, there's still a gap of $1.8 billion that needs to be filled.
We wanted the biggest campaign to happen during Ramadan because we wanted people to give from their zakat. The zakat is probably the easiest way of getting people to give, and knowing that it's something that I have to do, so I might as well.
Raising $5 billion every year is indeed a daunting task, and the end to the largest humanitarian crisis is still nowhere in sight. However, with collective effort, anything is possible. So what can you do with your big heart? Khadija Salih, 7 National News.